Hey guys, how you doing? And welcome to this trade recap playlist. So I put this playlist together because I'm a firm believer in it doesn't really matter what strategy you use to enter and trade the market. I found what truly matters is when you start trading the live market and all the fun psychological games that come with it. Things such as like revenge trading, FOMO, greed, a bit of patience. I've been fortunate enough to be trading now for about 5 years, full time for coming up 3 years. I found that throughout these 5 years, I've learned so much from trading the live market, and my favourite thing about trading is that I continue to learn. I've only scraped the surface, I know it. Every time I step onto the charts, I learn something new, whether it be about the charts, whether it be like a mirror into my own psyche. And I saw it as a bit of a blessing that midway through last year, I went back to week one, day one. I had no capital in my personal trading account, and I also lost my funding. And I saw it, as a blessing that now I can record every trade that I take, every lesson that I learn, not just for my own benefit, but hopefully to help you guys too. So maybe we don't have to make the same mistakes twice. You can just learn from my mistakes and become more consistent, profitable traders, because that's the plan, right? And also the good times as well. You know, there's a lot of real nice parts of trading. For now, I've timestamped these videos down the bottom with the intro, this waffle, so you don't have to listen to this every time, thank God. The actual video breakdown of the trade itself, the entry criteria diagram as well, and also the proof of these trades. I want to be completely transparent with you guys and share every single trade that I take, and I'll be taking screenshots of my broker, of my personal broker, of my STMO account, and my trade copiers, so you can see that every trade that I show you is every single trade that I take. I really hope this channel helps you, and I enjoy making the videos. They actually really help me as well. And if you do like them, please give it a like, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff, and I really look forward to seeing you guys on the charts. Phew. Take it easy, bye. Okay, so breaking this one down on the charts then, and as per, this is the next day, so I've just marked the high of our 15-minute time frame of where I was looking for shorts from, as when we start our top down analysis on the 4 hour, that little wick there hadn't happened yet, so we're playing from this blue horizontal line here. I've just lost so much drawings, but just marking up what's relevant. We have come in and wicked, and could be a sweep and mitigation of this point of interest. Which is nice because it's got the inducement before it flipped this level supply go long. So yeah, this is nice, granted. But remember I said, like, I play it as a breakout, okay, until, well, sorry, let me say that better. I only play it as a sweep when it sweeps, so you can say this is swept, mitigated, but then I want to see it breaking levels of supply. That's when it's like proven sweep. Okay, if it's not breaking any levels of supply, I'm going to continue playing it as a breakout, and that the trend is still continuing short. Okay, the trend is your friend until proving otherwise, if you like. Anyway, so yeah, this is nice for demand, but again, 4 hour swing structure is low. Saying that, that's not been broken yet, but the high has not been broken yet either. And what I liked was this buy to sell that's gone on to create a new supply range. It also dropped this bit of inducement beforehand. I thought we could be tapping the extremity of this or maybe continuing the trend short. And things were starting to look really clean on the 15-minute as well. So we're pro trend short on the daily, the 4-hour. Now when we go, sorry, let me write this up as well. The high time frame narrative, pro trend days. And then 15-minute was just looking lovely. And I actually had this point of interest marked up from yesterday or the day before yesterday. Yeah, that's 8:15. I was actually looking for an entry here and we didn't get tagged. Price just went without us. But this was the same point of interest from the 29th. So I took this trade yesterday on the 30th. But I was also looking at this level of supply on the 29th, but she just went without us. That's all. So I'm going to get rid of this now. So what I was looking on the 15-minute is you can see some nice supply order flow here of 15-minute flips, sweeps, mitigations, and breaks. Okay, so this level here has come down and tested this level of demand. Tested, come up, swept, mitigated this price action, come back down, tested, failed to break the high, come back down, tested, failed to break the high, and it's had a real good opportunity to continue or to go long because it's swept liquidity. This point of interest here, swept this liquidity, mitigated this level of demand, still failed to create high, and then got broken. So this is our nice inducement. Mark that as liquidity now because it's already been swept. And yeah, we've come back up. These level of demands are getting tested, pushing up. And then this price action here swept this inducement, swept this liquidity, mitigate this point of interest, tested this level of demand after sweeping this liquidity, failed to break the high, breaking off. This is a really nice one here as well, nice inducement where price action came down here, swept all this demand side liquidity, right, mitigated this little point of interest, and yeah, failed to create a high. Instead, dropped inducement, started breaking off. So we can just see that supply is holding much better than demand is. Okay, and supply is sweeping liquidity, mitigating order flow, and breaking levels of demand. Excuse me. And this is where we break the 4-hour. Excuse me. This was the 4-hour new range created. So beginning of yesterday, I was actually looking at this was quite a nice level of supply, a bit aggressive. I was happy to play with it because this level here, again, had swept demand side liquidity, mitigated demand point of interest, failed to create a high, and got broken. So it's like demand's just not doing anything. Yeah, we are creating lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It's just like we're bearish on 15-minute as well. And demand is having an opportunity to break supply serve by sweeping liquidity, having the fuel, try and create a high, but it's not, it's failing. Supply is serving in my eyes still, and that sinks in with our 4-hour time frame, daily time frame, and even a weekly, targeting that week low I was talking about to be swept. Anyway, so around here, it's about 10 o'clock, London. We're sweeping our inducement, which was nice. I was looking at little entries in here, but we never got our 1 minute shock or anything. I was like, okay, fair one. And you could say that, demand is starting to now break these levels of supply, or is it actually sweeping our 4-hour inducement, coming into our 4-hour extremity, point of interest, supply range, and swing structure to mitigate this little point of interest that we missed out on the day before? I was like, yeah, I still really like this area. It was nice. Remember, like, inducement. Yeah, inducement is when people think this is like a breakout. Algorithms or whatever think this is a breakout. They'll want to continue the trend short by covering the previous high, have their stop loss above the previous high to have their trade short. And inducement is sweeping all those stops and going to the little hidden point of interest above it, the extremity, and then continuing. It's like that extra little bit of fuel to continue the trend short. Okay, so I like that we've had this 4-hour inducement here, tap into this strong point of interest here. So there's our 15-minute. Right, do we have flip inducement? Yes, on 15-minute and on 4-hour. Lovely. Are we serving from a point of interest that created a 15-minute flip or above? This is like flip, 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 flip. Lovely. And has it swept liquidity? Yeah, swept all this liquidity. Real nice kind of inducement liquidity here. Mitigation of order flow. It was just beautiful order flow. I was very happy to look for shorts. Additional cherries. I said this is market confidence because, yeah, if I'm to be a bit picky with myself here, again, it's outside my trading hours. I've actually missed the sunset again. We end up taking this trade just the beginning of New York session. And I say market confidence because we've been very biased long on the London session. As I've said before, it's not something, excuse me, I play from, but sometimes we just see New York go counter a little bit of whatever London has done. That's how I have it in my head as a market confluence. Yeah, right, let's have a little look at the 1 minute. So you can see this is the point of interest I was looking at, where we swept this 15-minute inducement, and up in here, if you can see on the 1 minute, we never get a chock or a flip. So no entries here. Oh, I've got all these marked out. Sorry guys, let me these. So right, so we're now into this strong point of interest. We'll have a look at this on the 1 minute as well. Flip, inducement, off we go. This is actually just later on as well. We'll go into that price action in a bit. Yeah, so I'm looking at this point of interest here. And just waiting for the 1 minute chock. Got our inducement, our liquidity within our point of interest, which is our little additional cherry. Nice. Then we got our chalk long. Move this point of interest out of the way. Love that. Sorry, let me do our chalk short. And I like this flip and inducement. So this point of interest created a new high, so it's a strong level of demand. Come back down, got tested, failed to break the high to continue the 1 minute trend long, and instead demand gets broken. Now, lovely, and it dropped inducement before the break. If you went onto the 5-second, there's also just a nice area I liked. See this little level of demand that pushed up, come back down, got tested, failed to break the high. Price gap means there's been a good push here, good seller orders. This is all the price action getting tested, failing, tested, failing, testing, failing, just dropping inducement, dropping short. Covering the high. I believe I had it around 350, 3.5. Yep, that was nice. So I was kind of like covering this gap here. 3.5 had us covering the high as well. Nice. And yeah, that just looked lovely. It was sweet. Little thing I was to take away. Let's say we're going long. Right, let's just split the bias here for a second. This is a level of demand. That has inducement. So long. Could say we're coming down, sweeping the inducement, tapping into this level of demand to continue the trend long. There's little bits I was like, maybe I could have waited to see these levels of demand get broken as well. But that's not at my age. That's not my plan. Okay, I just want to see a level of demand get broken. And again, we're pro daily 4-hour trend, 15-minute strong point of interest, strep liquidity, all the good stuff. Got our chalk, got our flip, got our inducement. You know what I mean? If you start to wait for too many levels of demands get broken, then the trade will just go without you and you'll miss the opportunity. Okay, at the end of the day, I've got the checklist ticked off, got a chalk, had a flip, swept liquidity. Liquidity's been within our point of interest as well, and we've got inducement. You've got fuel for the move, so I'm taking this all day long. But it's just something to kind of take note of, you know, things like this. Yeah, if this happens a lot, then I'll test and adjust and see what happens. Anywho, we got tagged in bang on 12:23. There we are, 12:23. Remember, 2 hours difference. Tagged in at 350. Got the perfect fill with the stop loss at 385. Tagged in at 350. Stop loss 385. Had my take profit set at 1 to 4, which is 210. Ooh, why is that way different? Why is that 5? 210, 1 to 4. And also we only needed 2% on our FT mode challenge on the trade copier. So what I've done is obviously set all this up, set my take profit and everything once we got tagged in, quickly removed my trade copier, went over to my challenge broker, and then I moved the take profit instead to 1 to 2, just in case the internet cut out and I still wanted to pass the challenge. That's all we needed to pass the challenge. Actually less, I think it's like 1.5, 1.6 or something. And yeah, had the finger on the trigger to just exit the trade once we hit the 1 to 10. But unfortunately, I mean, we got a bit of reaction. It was looking nice. I was like, go on, baby, melt. And then she just went through us. Yeah. Actually got a cheeky close as well. We got a bit of slippage. It was over 1%. To see how my stop loss there is at 385, and we actually got taken out at 393. So yeah, we got taken out up there instead. But I don't mind this kind of stuff because it also goes the other way. I think there was a trade not so long ago. Let me just get my, where we had a 1 to 4 set, and we got filled at 4.4. Where was it? There we go. There. I mean, so it goes the other way. Look, we had a slippage of 1.2, but on the take profit we had a slippage once of an extra, almost 0.5% as well. So not too fast. It's just what happens sometimes. It's all good. So yeah, that was that. That was our loss, unfortunately. But happy with that. If I could take away anything, maybe a bit of the outside the trading hours, but I just like the setup. We are coming up pretty heavy after a sweep and a mitigation of a 4-hour point of interest. We are breaking levels of supply. Maybe could have waited for a 15-minute range flip at least, or just a stronger levels of demand get broken. But again, as I said, this has been picky. If this went and I didn't enter, I'd be like, you're a dumbass. That's the edge. Sometimes it can be tricky to identify the difference of, there's FOMO, it's like fear of missing out and you just kind of like taking any trade, and there's also being a pussy and not executing the edge when the opportunity's there and looking too much for perfection. It's hard to find the perfect trade. Okay, so that's why I have a checklist. It's like the trades look different, but if it's ticking all the boxes, then I'm entering. I can take the emotion out of it and take my personal opinion and thought out of it and be like, well, it ticked all the boxes. I slept well last night. Happy to take this trade again. No dramas. Yeah, I do want to cover a little bit because I like to kind of see growth and kind of give myself a little tap on the back now and then. I'd say before I'd be quite revenge tradey-ish. And I'll be like, no, like my higher time frame narrative is right, and we're pro trend. These are strong levels of 15-minute points of interest. And hang on a second, how do I do this? Let's cross all this off. Yeah. So there was a trade we just lost. And then I was actually looking at this point of interest here. So this is what I was saying a minute ago about, I'll show you the price of action in a minute. How he came up into this extremity with this flip inducement. There's the flip. This is the inducement on 15-minute. It's in our same area. Flip inducement with mitigation after a sweep. So I was like, this is actually still looking pretty juicy. Alright, let's ignore this. Let's play with this as the inducement and play from this extremity. And what actually happened is we got a chock as well. Sorry guys, I've made this bit messy charts, haven't I? Get rid of all this. Yeah. So in this 15-minute point of interest, still same high time frame narrative. 4-hour supply point of interest, supply range, supply swing structure, all the good stuff. We got our chock, and on a lower time frame, this is a little flip as well. That nice little flip up here, little point of interest here, I thought. And I really think the old me would be like, whoa, 1 minute chock, 1 minute, got the flip, let's go again. But what I wanted to see this time is, as I said, talking about this area holding, I thought I really want to see this level of demand go. I just want to see a bit more confirmation that supply is actually going to break demand serve here. So I wasn't going to enter this, but I was ready. If this broke as well, then I was going to re-enter. But she went through us. So I was happy with that. I feel like that's kind of improvement from previous trading experiences. Avoided a loss there. Bit of revenge trading. I was happy to just stay neutral. I believe we actually end up going from here. She does actually melt off a bit. There she goes. But no real entry model there for us. And this was getting late for me now. This is like 8:30 in the evening. I just wanted to get to bed. But yeah, there was no entry for us there in the end. But we did go from these areas, which was nice to see. And from up here, what are we looking like today? Oh, not a lot. Not a lot. Anyway, that's that. That's that trade done for half an hour. Bit cheeky. Hopefully all my drawings will actually come back and TradingView can reboot my my layout, because I don't really want to do all the markups all over again. Lost all my winners and lessons. Anything else to cover there? I don't think so. I think that's that. Hope that helps, guys. Oh, yeah. I'll look forward to see you on the next trade. Take it easy. Cheers. Bye. Okay, sorry guys, I've just removed all the markups what I had, but here is the trade that we've gone through. And for the proof, there's us on a broker. So it was 33 minutes past 12 at 350, stop loss 385. We actually got taken out 393, got a little bit of slippage, so just over 1%. 33 minutes past 12, 350, 385, but yeah, taken out a bit of slippage, just over 1%. That was also copied over to my FTMO. I can't see it now. I wish that was never in the way. But yeah, so our challenge, we're now running at just under 7%, and live account 2.5%. And that's that. That's the proof. Cool. Thanks, guys. See you later. Have a good one. Okay, so let's have a look at our entry criteria in picture perfect format for when we're looking for sells when supply is serving. I'm going to start off on the high time frame here, and this is what we're looking for when I say are we pro trend on the high time frame. And basically either on the daily and or the 4 hour, want to see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then for price to come back within our previous supply range, and then we can usually have a refined point of interest to play from as well, and that's when we can start going down to the 15-minute and looking for our entry model, and combined with our 1-minute entry model. So basically, it just doesn't matter how long this trend is going on for, as long as we see a bit of supply range order flow and supply swing structure order flow, and these lows getting broken and the highs holding, then happy to be aggressive and just continue the trend short. Put on here as well, pro trend, if we still get a point of interest that created a flip and has inducement and all that good stuff, then even better, even stronger. Okay, but just a simple pro trend, happy days. So shuffling on over to still looking for sells, but counter trend now on the higher time frame. So we'll see demand creating higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low, failed to create a higher high, right? So now supply is stepping into the market, right? Comes down, test this strong level of demand. So demand's got to have a say, got to have a chance to continue the trend long. Why is this level of demand strong? Because it broke structure. Yeah, so this is a strong level of demand. It's getting tested, but still fails to continue the trend long, and instead supply breaks demand serve and we go short. So what we can see here is on these breakout trades, there'll be a lot of stops and orders above the previous high. Okay, and this is what we call inducement. This is like fuel for the move. Alright? And when we counter trend, we want as much fuel as possible. And I don't want to take entries from the inducement, from this previous high, even though sometimes price does go in the inducement, but I like to play from the extremities. Okay. So all this here will be like any amount of time, X amount of time. This could be years, doesn't matter. And what you'll see is price action being quite bullish and coming back into the strong point of interest. But because this is an area, this is a point of interest that has created a flip between demand and supply, and it has fuel for the move, and it is like swept fuel for the move. If we get an 15-minute entry model, then this is justified as good to go for our counter trend trade short. So then moving down to our 15-minute time frame. So on the 15-minute, it doesn't matter if we're pro or counter trend, we're looking for exactly the same setup. Alright, this demand order flow here would be us coming back into our pro trend supply range or refined point of interest, or it would be us pulling back into our strong high time frame point of interest that created a flip and has got inducement and all that good stuff. Either way, demand will be coming back into our point of interest, and we'll be seeing a higher high, high low, higher high, higher low, but then demand slowed down, supply coming to the market, and it fails to create a higher high. And sometimes we can see a bit of fair price here and consolidation, whatever you want to call it, a range, liquidity being built. And then yeah, for demand to continue this trend long, we want it to have like a chance to do it. And what does price action need? It needs fuel, it needs liquidity. Okay, so we want to see demand sweep liquidity, mitigate order flow, and still fail to create a new high. Okay, and then for supply, which is actually now mitigating our higher time frame point of interest and our pro trend supply range, we've got supply order flow, is now coming into the market, can test this level of demand again, fails to break a high, and instead drops inducement, and then the supply breaks demand serve. And again, same detail on the higher time frame. When the market sees this breakout, we'll have a lot of its stops and orders placed above the previous high. Okay, this is a fuel. And again, sometimes you will see price go from here. Right, but if it goes, it goes. It's not part of my personal edge.
I like to play from the extremity. So yeah, price will hopefully come back up into this strong supply level that has created the flip between demand and supply. It has swept liquidity. So sorry, are we showing from the point of interest that created a 15-minute flip? Yes. Do we have flip inducement? Yep. So the fuel before the flip. Then are we showing from an area that swept liquidity? Very important on the 15-minute that we've swept fuel, because if we haven't swept the fuel, we become the fuel. And then yeah, we'll be going down to our 1 minute and looking for our execution entry model in 1 minute. So again, a little additional cherry. Sorry, I say again because I just made this video on demand. Would be that we have the Asian sweep. So this would be the Asian market here. Then we'll be coming into London Open, after 7 AM, and then we'll be coming up, creating a higher high, higher low, higher high, sweeping previous high, which ideally would be in our 15-minute point of interest now. High low, failing to create the higher high. Okay, so it's had the chance to continue. Now supply breaks demand serve. Okay, and we want to see this minimum on the 1 minute. Okay, we want to see a 1 minute continue the trend long, and then the shock is a change of character, a change of trend, simply where the low that created this new high is now broken. So we've got a change of character and trend. Has there been a flip? It's the same detail. I'm sure you're starting to see here that price action is fractal. Yeah, we're looking for the same things in all the time frames. And once we see that on the higher time frame, supply is serving, and then on the 15-minute time supply is serving, and now when we see on the 1 minute that supply breaks demand serve, okay, there's more supply than demand in the market, then that's putting probabilities way in our favour to look for sells. Okay, so same detail, we have our inducement, which is where the market will see these breakout traders. They'll have all the stops and orders above the previous high. We don't want to become this liquidity. We want to sweep it for our move. Okay, and again, sometimes we go from here. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but I guess I'm happy to wait out for the extremity. So yeah, do we have a minimum chart? Yes. Has there been a flip? Yes. Have we swept liquidity? Very important. We want our point of interest to have swept the fuel, as I just said a minute ago. If you haven't swept the fuel, you are the fuel. And do we have 1 minute inducement? And we want fuel to sweep. We want fuel for the next move. Okay. That should do it. And that's what we're looking for this trade now, to be looking for sells. Cheers guys, see you in a bit.